Sleeping Beauty. Yes, that's right, folks. We are venturing back into the world of classic Disney animation. We've done a couple of these before on Movie Tales. We did Pinocchio, and we did Cinderella, and when we did other princess movies, we talked about Princess and the Frog. So this is our third Disney princess film, and it is starring a princess that I would argue is one I don't know as much about in terms of the Disney side. Briar Rose as a concept is something I'm very familiar with. I read Fables, it's one of my favorite comic series. This is a character I'm well versed in other media, but this movie, for whatever reason, it was never one that I went back to often. I like it. I think it was in my youth, it's something I was like always there. Maleficent's a very prominent character in my life. We should have done the Angelina Jolie movies. I don't know, that would have been cool. I hadn't seen this one in probably a decade. Maybe even more than that. Maybe 2 decades I haven't seen this movie. It's from that era of Disney stuff that I'm not particularly interested in. And when it comes to the princess stuff, I'm not an Aurora fan. It was never my character. I don't know. But I figured if we go back to the well of classic Disney, let's do one that's really iconic. And Disneyland is celebrating its 70th anniversary this year. I think this month, actually. So, the Sleeping Beauty castle is very prominent at Disneyland in like the early days. So I figured let's talk about Sleeping Beauty. This is a pretty interesting movie. I don't know if I think it's the best, but maybe it's underrated. Because the animation is so beautiful. The backdrops in particular, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like this restored version I'm looking at. It pops so much. Some of those backgrounds, they don't look like real, but they're so highly detailed. And I just cannot imagine a movie today that's 2 dimensions looking like that. Like just the way I know Disney designed like a very specific way that we did like animated camera movements, but I just can't picture anything fully capturing this type of fantastical world again. It is so specific. It is so colorful. Everything looks amazing. The story's weird and not great, and there's stuff in it I don't like. When we talked about Cinderella, I mentioned how this is a lot about the fucking mice. Well, this movie's a lot about the 3 good fairies. I don't really like them. I think you can kind of get into, they're like a classic comedy duo. They're doing the Three Stooges stuff. They're so weird. Not as like bumbling and moronic, but you have Flora, Fauna, and Mayweather, and they all got distinctive personalities, and they like have to cook up schemes and stuff to protect like Aurora. The way they come up with plans is so weird. It feels like they just have to retell like the events of the fairy tale. And of course you do. That's what early Disney did. But this fairy tale, you could have updated a little bit. It's really weird. So this king and queen have a daughter named Aurora, and these fairies come to bless her. Like, I'm going to make sure she's beautiful. I'm going to make sure she can sing. And then before Mayweather can say her like piece about like, I'm going to make sure she's something, Maleficent shows up and she's like, I'm going to curse the child so when she's 16 and she pricks her finger on like a spindle, was it a spindle? She dies. Somehow they can't counteract that, so Mayweather has to come with like a plan to, I called her Mayweather, it's Merryweather, right? Merryweather? She has to come up with a plan to like, instead of her dying if she pricks her finger, she just goes into sleep until True Love's kiss wakes her up. Why is that the case? Why can't you just counteract the spell? Can you not counteract any spell? I find that weird because later on in the movie, they make a sword that kills Maleficent. And that, I don't know, why can you kill her with a spell you make, but you can't counteract a spell she makes that kills someone? I don't understand it. So in order to protect Aurora from being, like her finger being pricked, her father sends all the spindles away. But that's not good enough. So the fairies decide, let's pretend to be humans and we'll raise this girl in the woods. And I'm like, is that really what we're gonna do? Is that the best plan we have? So for 16 years, Aurora is 16 years old. Let's remember that, folks. She is living in the woods with these 3 old ladies who are actually fairies. until one day when she's just having a good time singing to all the birds and just enjoying her life, she runs into a guy. And this guy is Prince Philip, and she's actually betrothed to him. It's like a whole other thing when she was born. It's to unite the kingdoms or whatever. It's fun. It's very romantic, and I kind of like the way these two characters play off each other. Like, the fairy stuff, I just, yeah, okay, you're making food, you don't know how to make it without your spells. You're trying to make a dress, you don't know how to make it without your spells. It's fun and it's cute, and I'm sure, like, people in the 50s were losing their mind over that. But I really like the Briar Rose and Philip dynamic, because they're singing the same song when they bump into each other, and they're just like, I've never seen somebody like this before. Like a guy who is talented and he's nice, and like a beautiful girl who's very happy. Of course they're gonna fall in love. There's nobody else here that's normal. So these are two star-crossed lovers that are gonna cross paths and have to get together. Now, having not seen this movie for a very long time, I forgot how much of like the foundation of what princess stories are comes from this movie. Sure, Cinderella's before that with her weird mice, but these animals in the forest that just like exist around Aurora, and they just like being around her, and they pretend to wear people clothes so they can dance together. It just feels more classic and iconic than the stuff from Cinderella. It's just, that's what you want from these characters. Just stupid little birds and owls and rabbits. Just like, we like you so much, let's pretend we're a guy. I thought that bit was really cute and fun. And Shrek makes fun of it. That's the only time we're going to mention Shrek here. It's cute. I don't know. Did that happen in Snow White? I haven't seen Snow White. I actually saw Snow White recently, but I can't remember for the life of me what happens to that. I don't like Snow White. I'm starting to learn a lot about myself. Is like, as I grow up, these characters don't have the emotional resonance that they had when I was like 10. But I like Tiana, and I think Cinderella has some good points. I do like Aurora. It's weird what she does, because she's not like a huge part of the movie, and a lot of like the actual like dynamic parts don't really have to do with her. She's kind of asleep in the back half, which, yeah, of course. So the fairies don't know how to do anything. They managed to go 16 years with like not using their magic, but they're making a special dress for Aurora to go home, and they can't decide what color it is. And because they use their magic, they suddenly like alert Maleficent to finding them. I really like Maleficent. The design is awesome. The character is cool. I like an agent of chaos that has no bearings on anything. She's like, this is just a kid. I don't care. You're going to die when you get 16. Like, that's really fun. It's a really cool idea. So she finds them, and she uses magic to mind control Aurora to find a spindle and touch it, and then she goes into the slumber. Was that her plan the whole time? I think it was her plan for the 16 years, but she couldn't find them for 16 years. Okay, that's fine. Meanwhile, back at the castle where Philip meets his dad, who's like talking to Aurora's father, he's like, Dad, I can't marry this princess. I found this really cool girl that lives in the woods. I gotta go where my heart is. I gotta go find her. So that's what Philip wants to do. We haven't talked a lot about the princes, okay? Naveen is awesome. We love him. Prince Charming is a dick. We don't like him. Prince Philip has his heart in the right place, and we respect him for it. Not as iconic as some of the other ones, but he knows what he's doing. He's going where he needs to go. We love a good guy who's just trying his best, and his father's willing to go on board with it. And then suddenly Maleficent makes everyone... No, it's not Maleficent that makes everyone sleep. It's the fairies, right? Because then they have like time to fix the problem that's going on with Aurora. A lot of power being held by these fairies. They make the whole kingdom sleep except for Philip, but he gets kidnapped. Then they free him. They're like, let's give you a magic sword and a magic shield, and you can take your horse and go fight Maleficent. Just go fight her evil forces. It's fine. It's fine. You got this one in the bag, bro. You're fighting for love. We're going to make you a sword that kills Maleficent. And that's what they do. She turns into a big dragon, and they have a really cool fight. It looks so good. The silhouettes of all the colors are fantastic. The forest just comes to life. The brick of the castle. It all looks really good. And it moves so fluidly, and the animation is gorgeous. Like, it looks better than stuff I'm seeing today. Honestly, it looks better than stuff I'm seeing today. Not my favorite film ever, but when you're looking at this beautifully depicted big scary dragon and a guy fighting him, and it's more interesting than like some modern blockbusters, I think we took a step in the wrong direction today, because this is gorgeous. And Philip actually gets shit done. He actually fights for the woman he loves instead of just being a mopey bitch about stuff. He does, like, that's Prince Eric. I hate Prince Eric. Okay, Philip's useful. Philip is useful. He's a good guy. He kills a dragon lady. And he gets the girl in the end because he makes everyone in the kingdom realize that he's capable and awesome. And then they fall in love and they're going to get married, and Aurora's cool. She's a cool princess. I don't know. In your gimmicks falling asleep, there's only so much you can do with that. And for the most part, she doesn't do much, but I'm satisfied of how this film handled her. She has a really cool dress. She looks really good. Do you want, like, Sleeping Beauty to fight people? Like, her gimmick is true love will awaken me from my slumber. And it does. And that's what we want to see. I don't know. Sometimes you go back and you watch these classic Disney movies and you're like, is this going to be like Peter Pan where I don't want to see it? And this one was really interesting. It looked so visually pleasing. The music was egregious, but it toned itself down after the overture. As soon as the overture stopped, I'm like, let's get on track to something normal, please. And it did. And I was satisfied of how that turned out. This was pretty cool. I'm satisfied with what I saw, you know? This would be one I think people should check out again. Like, it's a breezy 80 minutes, and the concept is really fun, and the designs are just so unique. If you can get through all the crap with the fairies just being annoying and not doing much to each other, they do look distinctively different, but then also they have the same animation when they do specific traits. That could be kind of annoying, but I'm okay with that when you get something that's good. The dragon stuff makes up for all the other crap. I'd watch it alone for that. If you just want to look up that scene online, it is gorgeous and so well rendered. Oh man, movies can be special. It's weird to say that a Sleeping Beauty movie from Walt Disney Studios could be like slept on, no pun intended. But this one has a lot interesting stuff going for it. I could completely understand how in like the 2010s you look at this concept and you're like, oh, we could do a live action version of this. Let's make Maleficent like relatable. I think we're going to talk about those movies someday too. I really dug this one. So much fun, so beautiful, very romantic. What more do you want? That's classic Disney sometimes, is beautiful things happening for beautiful people. I like that. So that is Sleeping Beauty. And that is going to do it for this episode of Romantic Tales. Now, thank you all for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.